Imagine growing a garden where your potatoes practically take care of themselves. No fancy tools, no backbreaking work, just a little help from nature. For the Amish, that's not a dream. It's reality. They've mastered the art of growing potatoes with minimal effort, relying on old-school methods that have been passed down through generations. From letting the earth do the heavy lifting to using time-tested techniques, the Amish have figured out how to make potato farming practically autopilot. No modern gadgets or high-tech tools are needed, just a deep respect for the land and an understanding of its natural rhythms. Let's dive into the simple, sustainable methods that make their potato patches thrive, year after year. Imagine walking into your garden, and instead of the usual toil and labor, you're greeted with a lush bed of thriving potatoes that seem to have grown effortlessly. This isn't the stuff of fantasy. It's the reality for many Amish families who have perfected a low-maintenance method of growing potatoes. The method is so simple and effective that it feels like the potatoes are practically growing on autopilot. It's a technique that aligns perfectly with their values of simplicity, sustainability, and working in harmony with nature. Their secret lies in working with the land, not against it. Most gardeners today follow the conventional wisdom of tilling the soil, planting potatoes in neat rows, and spending countless hours tending to them. However, the Amish prefer a far more relaxed approach. Instead of preparing the soil with intense tilling, they let the earth stay undisturbed as much as possible, focusing on keeping the soil rich and healthy. The Amish method is rooted in what's known as no-till gardening. Instead of tilling the soil, which can disrupt its natural structure and deplete its nutrients over time, they focus on building up the soil's fertility. One of the key components of this method is using organic mulch to create a perfect growing environment for potatoes. After laying the seed potatoes directly on the soil, they cover the area with a thick layer of straw, hay, or leaves. This mulch serves as a blanket that keeps moisture in, weeds out, and soil temperature stable. This mulch layer also offers protection against pests and disease. When covering the soil with a thick layer of mulch, it forms a barrier that makes it harder for pests like potato beetles to reach the plants. The Amish often use companion planting techniques as well, incorporating flowers or herbs nearby that repel insects naturally, eliminating the need for harmful pesticides or chemicals. The beauty of this system is that it allows the potatoes to grow with very little intervention. The mulch takes care of watering needs by keeping the moisture levels consistent, and as the potatoes grow, they push through the mulch, still protected from the elements. The mulch acts as a natural fertilizer as it decomposes, feeding the soil with vital nutrients that enhance the growth of the potatoes without the need for store-bought fertilizers. Over time, the organic material in the mulch turns into rich, nutrient-dense compost that further nourishes the soil and promotes healthier, more abundant crops. When it's time for harvest, the Amish method makes the process almost effortless. Instead of the traditional practice of digging through hard soil to unearth the potatoes, the Amish simply lift the mulch, and there they are, plump, healthy potatoes, ready to be gathered. It's like unwrapping a gift from nature, with no heavy lifting or digging involved. What's truly remarkable about the Amish approach to potato farming is that it mirrors their sustainable lifestyle. It's not about doing more work or buying more tools. It's about reducing the impact on the land, allowing nature to regenerate and provide for them. They don't rely on artificial fertilizers, herbicides, or extensive irrigation systems. Their focus is on building a system that doesn't deplete the earth, but instead fosters a relationship where both the land and the crops can thrive. In a world where gardening often seems like a race against time and pests, the Amish potato patch works like a quiet rebellion against the modern notion that bigger, faster, and more complicated is always better. They've tapped into a timeless wisdom that shows the beauty of simplicity and how sometimes the best way to get potatoes is to let them grow on autopilot. As we've seen, the Amish way of growing potatoes relies on a natural hands-off approach that allows the crops to flourish with minimal effort. This technique, known as no-till gardening, is key to the success of their potato patches and it's a method that has been passed down through generations. Now, let's dive deeper into the Amish no-till potato patch, exploring how it works, why it's so effective, and how it contributes to their sustainable lifestyle. In a typical potato farm, the soil is plowed, turned, and worked extensively to prepare it for planting. However, this method, while common, disrupts the natural ecosystem of the soil, killing beneficial microorganisms and depleting the nutrients that the crops need to thrive. For the Amish, the no-till method offers a radically different approach, one that is gentler on the earth while still yielding a bountiful crop. The no-till potato patch begins with careful soil preparation, though it's far simpler than you might think. Instead of tilling and turning the soil, the Amish simply let the land rest. They rely on a natural system of soil fertility that comes from years of using organic matter like compost and mulch. This organic material is spread over the soil, enriching it and building its structure. Over time, the soil becomes a rich, living ecosystem teeming with beneficial microorganisms, earthworms, and other creatures that promote healthy plant growth. Rather than disturbing the earth with a plow, the Amish place their seed potatoes directly on top of the soil, allowing them to sprout and grow naturally. They then cover the potatoes with a thick blanket of mulch, often using hay, straw, or leaves. This mulch acts as a natural barrier that prevents weeds from sprouting, retains moisture in the soil, and helps regulate temperature. The layer of mulch also prevents erosion, ensuring that the soil remains intact and fertile for future growing seasons. One of the key benefits of this no-till approach is that it eliminates the need for synthetic fertilizers and pesticides. The thick mulch layer not only nourishes the soil, but also helps control pests naturally, reducing the need for chemical interventions. Insects and diseases are kept at bay by the healthy soil ecosystem, and the potatoes can grow undisturbed by the usual threats that affect conventionally grown crops. The result is a bountiful crop of potatoes that requires little maintenance beyond ensuring that the mulch layer stays intact. As the potatoes grow, they push through the mulch, which doesn't disrupt the roots or harm the soil beneath. When it's time for harvest, the process is incredibly simple. Just lift the mulch and gather the potatoes. There's no heavy digging, no soil compaction, and no damage to the delicate underground ecosystem that the Amish have so carefully cultivated. The no-till potato patch is a shining example of how traditional farming methods can work in harmony with nature, creating a system that not only benefits the farmer, but also the land. By avoiding the need for plowing, fertilizers, and pesticides, the Amish create a sustainable growing environment that promotes long-term soil health and minimizes their ecological footprint. It's a method that can be replicated by gardeners and farmers alike, offering a practical solution to growing healthy, organic potatoes with minimal effort and environmental impact. Another Amish method that makes potato farming even easier is companion planting. This approach enhances crop health while reducing the need for chemical fertilizers and pesticides. By pairing the right plants together, the Amish boost the success of their potato patches in the most natural way. Building on the benefits of the no-till potato patch, the Amish incorporate companion planting into their farming practices. It's a simple, natural method that enhances productivity and makes the most of their land. The Amish often plant potatoes alongside crops that benefit each other, creating a symbiotic relationship. For example, potatoes are paired with beans, which fix nitrogen in the soil, or with marigolds, which deter pests. This approach not only increases potato yields, but also strengthens the overall health of the soil and reduces pest damage, minimizing the need for chemical interventions. Companion planting harnesses the natural properties of plants to support one another. Beans, for instance, replenish the soil with nitrogen, a nutrient potatoes need in large amounts. With this method, the soil stays rich and fertile for future crops, without relying on synthetic fertilizers. Marigolds, meanwhile, help keep pests like aphids and beetles away. Their strong scent masks the aroma of potatoes, confusing pests and reducing damage. By strategically planting companion plants near potatoes, the Amish reduce the need for chemical pesticides, creating a more sustainable and environmentally friendly approach to farming. The beauty of companion planting lies in its simplicity. There's no need for complex machinery or expensive products, just a bit of knowledge about which plants work well together. For the Amish, this practice aligns with their values of self-sufficiency, sustainability, and respect for nature. Moreover, companion planting isn't limited to potatoes. The Amish use this method for a variety of crops, ensuring their entire farm remains balanced and healthy. For instance, herbs like basil, dill, and oregano are planted near vegetables to act as natural barriers against harmful insects, while attracting pollinators essential for crop growth. Incorporating companion planting into their potato patch demonstrates how the Amish work in harmony with the land, using nature's cycles and relationships to improve their harvests. This approach contrasts sharply with industrial agriculture, which often relies on synthetic fertilizers and pesticides. For the Amish, their methods are about balance, ensuring each plant and crop supports the others, creating a thriving ecosystem without artificial inputs. Next, we'll look at how these sustainable farming methods help the Amish preserve their harvests long after the growing season ends. One interesting technique they use is root cellaring, which makes use of the earth's natural cooling properties to keep potatoes and other root vegetables fresh for months, without the need for refrigeration. Let's take a closer look at how they make this work. Root cellars are a testament to the Amish's commitment to sustainability and self-sufficiency. Rather than relying on modern refrigeration, the Amish tap into the earth's natural cooling properties to store their potatoes and other root vegetables for months, ensuring they have fresh produce long after the growing season ends. A root cellar is essentially an underground storage space that takes advantage of the Earth's natural ability to maintain a constant, cool temperature. When constructed properly, these cellars stay between 32 degrees Fahrenheit and 40 degrees Fahrenheit, 0 degrees Celsius to 4 degrees Celsius, making them the perfect environment for storing potatoes, carrots, onions, and even apples. These temperatures slow down the natural processes of decay and sprouting, allowing the potatoes to last for months without refrigeration or preservatives. What's particularly remarkable about the Amish root cellar system is its simplicity. Unlike the complicated and energy-intensive refrigeration systems many rely on today, a root cellar requires little more than good planning and craftsmanship. The cellars are typically built into the side of a hill or buried beneath the ground to take full advantage of the insulating properties of the earth. The walls are thick to retain coolness, and proper ventilation ensures that humidity levels remain balanced to prevent mold or rot. By storing their potatoes in these natural coolers, the Amish can stretch the life of their harvests well into the winter months. They're able to keep their food supply sustainable and abundant without being dependent on external resources like electricity or refrigeration, which aligns perfectly with their values of minimalism and sustainability. Root cellaring is an ancient practice used for centuries by many cultures, but it is still widely used by the Amish today. Not only does it keep the potatoes fresh, but it also helps preserve the flavor and texture of the tubers, unlike potatoes that have been kept in a refrigerator or freezer, which can sometimes affect their quality. In fact, potatoes stored in a root cellar often develop a sweeter, richer flavor as they are kept in their natural environment, allowing the starches to break down slowly and evenly. The Amish are experts at making the most of what the earth has to offer. By using a root cellar, they don't just preserve their potatoes, they also preserve a tradition of sustainable living that has been passed down through generations. It's a perfect example of how the Amish continue to live in harmony with nature, embracing old-world methods that allow them to live off the land with minimal impact on the environment. Now that we've seen how the Amish ensure their potatoes last through the winter, let's take a look at another critical element of their farming practices: the importance of crop rotation. This practice not only helps maintain soil fertility, but also prevents disease and pest buildup, ensuring that their potato patches remain healthy and productive year after year. Let's dive into how the Amish rotate their crops to keep their fields in top shape. This time-tested technique is a cornerstone of Amish agriculture, playing a crucial role in maintaining the vitality of the land and ensuring that each crop, including their beloved potatoes, grows to its full potential. Crop rotation involves planting different crops in the same field from year to year, rather than planting the same crop in the same place continuously. The Amish know that growing potatoes in the same soil year after year can deplete the soil of vital nutrients, which are essential for strong, healthy plants. By rotating their crops, they prevent the soil from becoming exhausted and minimize the risk of soil-borne diseases and pests that can target specific crops. For example, after harvesting potatoes, the Amish might plant legumes like beans or peas in the same field. These crops are known for their ability to fix nitrogen in the soil, enriching it with nutrients that potatoes need. This rotation not only helps to replenish the soil, but also naturally reduces the need for chemical fertilizers, aligning perfectly with the Amish commitment to organic, chemical-free farming practices. Additionally, the Amish rotate crops based on their growth cycles and specific needs. Some crops, like corn or wheat, may be planted during one season, followed by vegetables like carrots or beans the next. Each crop has different nutrient requirements, and by rotating them strategically, the Amish create a balanced ecosystem in their fields, preventing nutrient imbalances that could otherwise hinder crop growth. This approach has numerous benefits. It keeps the soil fertile, improves the overall health of their fields, and ensures that they can grow a wide variety of crops without depleting the land. Another advantage of crop rotation is that it prevents the buildup of certain weeds that are known to thrive in specific conditions. By changing the crops planted in each area of the field, the Amish can prevent weeds from taking root and spreading. This reduces the need for manual weeding or chemical herbicides, both of which are avoided in Amish farming practices. Overall, crop rotation is a vital practice that helps the Amish maintain healthy, fertile soil while ensuring that their potato patches and other crops stay productive for years to come. It's a perfect example of how they use nature's own rhythms and cycles to their advantage, without relying on modern chemicals or machinery. With each crop rotation, the Amish not only protect their soil, but also demonstrate their deep respect for the land they cultivate. As we've seen, the Amish approach to farming is deeply rooted in sustainability and resourcefulness. From crop rotation to careful preservation techniques, they've developed a system that ensures their land stays healthy and their food supply remains plentiful. The Amish also use unique harvesting methods to bring in those potatoes. You might think of the typical tractor-driven harvesting process, but for the Amish, the way they gather their potatoes is as rooted in tradition and careful planning as their planting practices. The Amish are known for their hands-on approach to farming, and their potato harvest is no exception. They don't rely on high-tech machinery to dig up the potatoes from the ground. Instead, they use a more labor-intensive but incredibly effective method. The Amish believe in harvesting at the perfect time, ensuring that the potatoes are fully mature but not overripe, which could lead to spoilage. Typically, the Amish will wait until the plants start to die back and the skin of the potatoes thickens. This signals that the potatoes are ready to be harvested, and the family comes together to dig them out by hand. Using simple tools like a spade or hoe, they carefully loosen the soil around the potatoes, making sure not to damage the precious tubers. It's a slow process that requires patience, but the rewards are well worth the effort. In Amish communities, the harvest is often a communal event. Neighbors may lend a hand to ensure that the potatoes are dug up quickly but carefully, as the Amish value the idea of working together as a community. Once the potatoes are dug up, they're carefully collected, sorted, and stored. Any damaged or blemished potatoes are set aside for immediate use, while the rest are carefully laid out to dry before being stored for the winter. This meticulous, hands-on approach might seem old-fashioned in today's fast-paced world, but the Amish understand that doing the job right is far more important than speed. Their focus is on preserving the quality of the potatoes and ensuring that they last well into the colder months. This careful harvesting process also allows the Amish to evaluate their crops, ensuring that they've grown well and that the potatoes are of high quality. It's a method of farming that values craftsmanship, sustainability, and patience. a far cry from the speed-driven harvests that are typical in industrial farming today.